At noon, President Donald Trump nominates an Arkansas federal judge to the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals. Judge Lee Rudofsky graduated from Harvard and Cornell University. The president announced Rudofsky's nomination on social media, calling him a, quote, rock-solid defender of the Constitution. Arkansas Lieutenant Governor Leslie Rutledge is asking the Senate to swiftly confirm that nomination. Also new at noon, a Fayetteville man pleads guilty to a lesser charge in the shooting death of his father. Robert Dixon Jr. pleaded guilty to negligent homicide. You're looking at video from the scene of when that happened in September of 2024. Police say that Dixon shot his father twice with a shotgun while he was hiding in a closet. He was originally charged with first-degree murder. Washington County Prosecutor Charles Duell says Dixon was sentenced to 6 years in prison after pleading guilty to that lesser charge. Well, a man charged in the death of a 19-year-old Carroll County man will spend 18 years in prison. Thomas Blewett pleaded guilty yesterday to negligent homicide and 2 counts of evidence tampering in the death of Alexander Bernhardt in 2025. Court documents say Blewett shot Bernhardt in the backseat of a vehicle and then tried to clean up and hide the evidence. Blewett was sentenced to 6 years on each charge. Well, developing at noon, sources say Luigi Mangione is in talks with federal prosecutors about a possible plea deal. A federal hearing is scheduled for Friday. Mangione faces several federal charges accusing him of stalking and killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The federal charges could carry a life sentence. Neither side has confirmed those talks. Mangione's state trial is set to start on September 8th. His federal trial is scheduled for January. He has pleaded not guilty in both of those cases. Well, it's been a year now since National Guard troops were deployed to the nation's capital, and an Arkansas group is now asking the governor to bring those troops home. The League of Women Voters sent a formal letter with that request, saying the troops' continued presence is unnecessary and that it's costly for taxpayers. 100 Arkansas troops were deployed in November, and the governor extended their stay in January.
This is a matter of local governance. If you have local government who says they do not want this there, the people who live there should have a say over this.
Governor Sanders' office sent us this statement. Her communications director also pointed to a report showing homicide rates have dropped in 2 cities where federal troops were deployed, which the League of Women Voters disputes with a separate report. Well, as we continue our back-to-school coverage this week, Elkins went back to class today, and there's a few fun activities planned today. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach joins us with the details.
Students and teachers started arriving at around 7 a.m. for their first day of school. We sat down with the superintendent ahead of the first day to learn more about what he's excited about and some new projects going on this year. He says this first week is all about welcoming students back and making them feel valued. Starting on a Thursday, he says, is a good way to ease back into the school year. Construction projects that were underway last year have now been completed, so traffic flow should be as smooth as possible. But with enrollment continuing to grow, the superintendent asks everyone to remain patient and help keep the first days of school safe.
We've seen that growth, and we do expect that to continue, being part of this Northwest Arkansas area. And we've planned for that. We've done numerous construction projects to expand our academic learning space, and then we have ideas for additional projects if we experience future growth.
Students have a short week this week, mostly consisting of meetings and orientation. Classes will officially start on Monday. In Elkins, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
Thank you, Claire. We're 1 year into Arkansas's bell-to-bell no-cell law, and school leaders in Greenwood and in Rogers say that they are seeing students more engaged with each other. But new national research found little change in test scores, attendance, or classroom attention. Rogers superintendent says getting students off of their phones can help, but it's not a cure-all.
As we begin to look at student health, as we begin to look at mental health, I think it's really important that we don't try to identify one single source of all of our problems and say, this is it.
Both Rogers and Greenwood school leaders say so far the benefits they've seen from the phone ban have outweighed the challenges. Annual inflation slowed in July, according to government numbers released this week, but prices are still on the rise, and some popular school lunch items are about to put a squeeze on households. Karen Kafa reports.
Annual inflation slowed in July to 3.4%, according to data released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics Wednesday. And easing gas prices between June and July accounted for much of the overall cool down. But overall prices are still on the rise, and the latest jobs report showed wage gains aren't keeping up.
Inflation is it's a lagging indicator from a consumer sentiment point of view, right? I mean, we talk about numbers, we're banding about all these statistics, but at the end of the day, it's how you feel.
With back to school season revving up for households, the July inflation data shows a number of lunchbox staples more expensive than last year. Bread prices up 3.7%, lunch meats up 0.8%, peanut butter up 1.8% annually, fresh fruits and vegetables up 5.5%, and juices and other non-alcoholic beverages up 2.9% from July of last year. Registered dietitian Brenda Davey, a professor in the Virginia Tech Department of Human Nutrition, Foods, and Exercise, says shoppers should scout sales and note which produce items are in season and plentiful.
Looking for those types of items seasonally can help with budgeting. There's also a lot of discount racks available in grocery stores, and I shop those regularly.
A recent survey from Deloitte also found some caregivers turning to AI for lunchbox ideas, including healthier choices and ingredients. In Washington, I'm Karen Kefa.